Today, I want to do something a little bit different. I'm starting a new series where I feature photographers whose work really speaks to me. And we're beginning with Wayne Simpson, who's an incredible photographer with a deep attention to detail. His work immediately grabbed my attention for all the right reasons. Now, looking at Wayne's work, there's just a quiet honesty to his portraits that's hard to ignore. They're clean and composed, and nothing feels forced or artificial. His images just don't beg for attention, they simply hold it. And what I admire most is how his photography carries both emotion and control. Everything feels intentional, but it's not overthought. The lighting is subtle in the best way, each shadow has a purpose, and every highlight adds something to the image. And so I reached out to Wayne and see if he'd be open to a feature on the channel, which he was. And he was super generous. He sent over a batch of high-resolution images that I asked for, so I could feature them in this video. Let's dive a little bit deeper into what makes his work so strong. Now, taking a look at Wayne's images, there are 4 images that really stand out to me. There is the cowboy with the extremely cool mustache. It's a close-up portrait of him, and the details and skin tones are just immaculate. When I look at these images, I'm just thinking, Wayne, please, teach me how to do this, because the work is amazing. And there is another portrait of the same cowboy, but it's more environmental. You have a little bit of the mountains in the background, the grass in the foreground, and same thing here. Image just looks 10 out of 10. And then we have another portrait here. It's of a woman who's most definitely, you can see, been through a lot, and the portrait just speaks for itself. No words needed. I'm in awe. Next up, we have a black and white portrait, and just the contrast and shadows and the highlights, everything is balanced so perfectly in this portrait. And photographing older people just gives you something that's so satisfying, because there's so much texture and structure in the face, and there's so much history and story behind the eyes. Once again, Wayne nailed this out of the park. Lighting looks great, subject looks amazing, and it all ties in together in such a natural, organic way. I fell in love with this portrait. I would love to hang something like this up on my wall in the office. And there's also a black and white portrait of a woman that really stayed with me. Her face is the only part holding light. Everything else fades gently into shadow. It's minimal but incredibly focused. Nothing pulls your attention away here. Now, that kind of restraint is hard to pull off well. You need confidence to leave space in a frame and let your subject breathe. You don't need flashy backdrops or dramatic editing to make it impactful. Just good old-fashioned lighting, a clear composition, and trust in the person you're photographing. And most importantly, you need to have trust in yourself. And speaking of clarity, editing is where a lot of that gets sharpened. But post-processing can be intense, especially when you're spending hours in front of the screen. As I've gotten older, something weird started happening. My body just stopped tolerating coffee. It messes with my stomach and throws off my energy for the rest of the day. When I drink it, I just feel awful. And that is a shame, because like a lot of people, I love coffee. Like, who doesn't? But when that stopped being an option, I had to look for something better, something else, something that resonated with me. And that's when Clearly came into the picture. And I tried their brand, Not Coffee, which is a mushroom-based coffee alternative. And I gotta say, it's way better than I expected. The taste is surprisingly close to the real thing, but it's what it does that makes it a part of my daily workflow now. I've always been a fan of mushroom complex supplements in general, so even before Clearly, I was already using nootropics and other forms. But this one stuck with me. It's smooth, it helps me focus, and it doesn't come with the crash or discomfort regular coffee gave me. And it actually helps me drop into that focused editing flow faster, and it keeps me there. And I gotta say, honestly, it's kind of a hidden gem. It feels like one of those life hacks nobody's talking about, but once you know, you know. And I've been using nootropics for a while now, and I can actually feel the difference, because when you're taking other supplements like magnesium or omega-3 or vitamin D, you don't really feel a difference. But I can only speak for myself. When I take mushroom complex tablets or when I'm drinking hot coffee, I actually feel a difference. I can be focused for hours on it and just locked into whatever I'm working on without being distracted. So if you're a creative who spend long hours editing or working on detail-heavy projects, this is worth checking out. So with all that said, I've dropped the link in the description in case you're curious. Now back to Wayne's images here. What I really love is how his style carries through into his landscapes as well. There is one shot in particular of a single tree reflected in the misty field. It's quiet, it's stripped down, but it lingers. It's an amazing image. We got another image here that shows jaggedy rock formations under a heavy sky. The water's movement is calm but deliberate, and nothing in this image feels random. You can tell he approaches his landscape with the same patience as his portraits. There's a consistency in how he sees things and how he works. So all in all, it's not about overprocessing or trying to impress with complexity. It's about noticing what's already there and just making space for it. And that's something I really and deeply respect, because it takes more discipline to stop than to keep adding here. And Wayne's book, Resilient, is full of portraits of people who've been through a lot. You can really see it in their faces. And it's not in a performative way, but in a way that feels lived, and their stories are right there in the frame, whether you know the context or not. So if you haven't seen Wayne's work before, I definitely recommend checking it out. I've left links in the description of his book and portfolio, so you can take a look and admire his work for yourself. So thank you for watching this time around, and I'll catch you in the next one.